6:33, so we'll call the work session of the mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia for Monday, February 24th, 2020 to order. So first, we will go through and review the regular business meeting. I need to find somebody for the invocation. Any takers?
Sure.
Eric?
Yay, Eric.
In the pledge, we have Boy Scout Troop 65 coming.
We're out there.
Ceremonial matters, we've got a couple of things. Presentation of recognition for education for Christy and Gretchen. Got oath of office for Ann Seacrest, the Planning Commission. Minutes, some reports. Under the consent agenda, I had someone wanted to talk about the leases for Gwinnett Tech and GECC.
Those are just the paperwork that follows up the leases on the new space upstairs.
Okay.
And we submitted those to GERMA, and GERMA approved them, so they were happy with them. I needed to add one line about people's property being covered, which I did.
They have to have their own letters.
Yeah.
I just had one question. In the lease, it says the term shall begin July 1st, 2019 and end June 30th, 2020?
That's just on Gwinnett Tax.
Okay,
On that one.
okay, so that's
what they
accurate.
had- That's accurate. That's
Okay.
what they had set up, and there's a memorandum of understanding that's attached to it.
Yeah, I
and-
saw that.
And that's where those dates are pulled from.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure that that was accurate.
Yep.
Okey-doke.
Did anybody else have any questions or concerns on those? And we do have them on the consent agenda, which means we don't do an individual vote. But if someone would prefer to do an individual vote, you just need to let me know, and we can pull it out. Okay?
I consent to the agenda.
Consent to the consent agenda.
Okay, under new business, we have Resolution 2020-02 for supporting the Georgia Local Government Infrastructure Finance Authority Act. Anybody have any questions on that? Then we have nuisance abatement at 2458 Main Street.
I'll take that one.
Okay.
It's actually, I made a typo and it's 2498. If you choose to make a motion, I also have the parcel number, which is 5026056. Basically, as you all know, that's the old Randy Simpson property that's burned down. It's been almost 18 months since it originally burned down. We pushed the property owner to finish demolition, and they let us know that there's not enough money in the estate to do the demolition at this time. And until they sell the property, it won't be repaired. So as a matter of safety, we recommend that be placed under a nuisance and then go through that process for abatement, where the city will hopefully it sells before then. They're able to demo it. If not, we'll be able to demo it and attach it as a lien to the property, and then make the structure safe and the area safe. It's been there for a while. We tried to help them a little bit and just hasn't been fast enough.
Do we have any idea of how much it would cost to demo?
The executor of the state said she got quotes for 8,000 to 10,000, and I expect them to be a little bit more than that. We paid 16,000 for that house on Fars Road, and unless it's cheaper, I would. There's a little bit of asbestos too. I would think more like 20 to 25. I haven't gotten any quotes yet. I don't really have the authority to do so, but.
So when it burned, does that take it off the Federal Registry?
It was,
You know?
I don't believe it was ever on the registry.
Yeah, it was.
That was supposedly why they had to
Why
run
they
the
couldn't take
intersection the
it
way
as
they
property.
did, because they couldn't.
I mean, that's over 75% destroyed now. I mean, they would have to demo it regardless. Yeah, I can check on that, but.
Yeah, I just wonder because, I mean, we'll pay to do that and then lien the property. You just wanna make sure that there's some sales value to the property.
Yo, the property
That it could
is
be sold.
listed right now. Yeah,
Is
I
it?
mean, it's being listed for sale and has been for like like 6 months. We were hoping that there would be a buyer, but the price is too high. They were worried about, construction of the intersection too, and buyers were a little, unaware of how that was gonna affect them, so I gave them to the end of the year, and that's done now, and there's still been, and the property owner isn't against, the action either, the executor, and they wanna get it taken care of too, so they can get square with the city. It's a safety hazard more than anything.
Yeah, we need to get cleared up though on the issue of the register
And
though.
we'll do that, as part of the title search, I'm sure, and all that.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure that, there's a chance for us to get our money back.
Right.
I think the property's currently listed at 800 and some thousand.
Oh, well,
Whoa.
Yeah.
probably a little too high.
And it hadn't sold?
Maybe what our problem is. Okay, anybody else have any questions on that?
Will we be able to, if we are doing the demolition scraping, will we be able to take any of that granite?
Yeah, I don't know how that works, I'm sure it can be negotiated, I mean, if they're just gonna haul it away, regardless, but I think that's, those intentions have been well known.
Can you check on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we have another resolution opposing House Bill 302 and Senate Bill 172. Both of these are regarding the local building design standards. That's floating around the legislature again.
I noticed I guess it's a typo or error on that on page 2 in the fourth whereas. The last word should be habitable, not inhabitable.
Well, that might be an issue.
Okay, anybody have anything else on that one?
Do we need to, how do we handle that? Just,
Melissa, can we just change it on the
the
draft cover
signature
that we have?
page should be separate, which means y'all go ahead and sign it and we'll fix it.
Yeah.
Fix it, okay. All right,
And will that be sent to our delegation?
Yes.
Yes.
okay.
And to GMA.
But phone calls would still be helpful if y'all wanna call your Gwinnett delegation.
Yeah, in fact, I think if anybody wants to send anything to anybody on that committee, it can go outside the delegation.
Yeah, I mean, feel
More
free
the
to
merrier.
call, talk to anybody that you want. The more they hear from us, the better it'll be. Okay, next we have, resolution 2020-04 for the SDS agreement. Let me tell you where we are as of 4:30 this afternoon. The drama continues. We have, pretty much everything is done. And the resolution, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I read the resolution that we're passing is for y'all to authorize me to sign the documents when we know they are in final form. Everything is pretty much in final form, except for the one issue that we've been working on, the 911. It's close, but there were some changes that the city sent back to the county, I guess on Friday. Chairman Nash called me this morning, or texted me this morning, and she said she wanted to talk about them because a few of the changes were kind of drastic or different than anything that's been discussed to this point. So, she wasn't able to call me back, she was at the Capitol all day, wasn't able to call me back until 4 o'clock today, so I talked to her till about 4:30, then I talked to Jack Wilson, the Gwinnett Municipal Attorney. So we'll get it worked out. That's not an issue. It will get worked out, but it's just a couple of finer points in the details. So once we get those resolved, then that agreement should be ready.
Is it I sent out an email to you guys Friday afternoon, kind of giving you a heads up. And the formula does not change, the distribution formula
Right.
does not change, which was actually a higher number a greater benefit to us than we offered the county. So that will not change.
Right, so there's nothing in the funding formula, that we've determined, or the amounts that we're determining. It was just, there were a couple of tweaks that were made as far as defining what are 911 revenues. You know, one of the cities wanted to put in some language that kind of expanded that, and so the county's pushing back on that one. And it was just a couple of other points that were gonna be a little issue, but I think we've got some solutions and ways around, so.
So who's the stick in the pudding here?
Well, I won't say that publicly, but.
It's not me this time, right?
No, no, no,
Okay,
no,
all
no,
right,
no.
all right. Then
No,
we're good.
but, so what you're approving tonight, I mean, like I said, we are in form on the 911, we're there, it's just a couple of minor details that are left to resolve before that agreement is ready to sign. But, you know, if y'all are comfortable with giving me permission to sign it once the attorney, you know, Butch will look at it, since it's 911, chief will look at it too, and we'll just make sure that everything's just like it needs to be. And if anything substantial changes from that point, of course, we'll bring it back to everybody. But if we don't approve the resolution tonight, or you don't authorize me to do it, I mean, it's fine if you don't wanna do that, but that means we'll have a specially called meeting sometime before Friday to get it done, so. So that's where we are.
Can
So-
we trust you?
I think I trust her.
Oh, can you
So-
trust me?
Are you still heading the negotiations, or is Kelly? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we are too far in.
I figured, but
That's for sure.
So that's where we are on that, so, you know, I certainly would be easiest to be able to just, you know, give me permission, we'll make sure it's all right before I sign off on any of it. Okay,
Should not be a problem.
very good. And then the Summit Chase sign easement. Somebody wanna talk about that one?
Sure. And so what we've done is, actually, I think I may have given the original one to Dave. I did, trade you. The issue is they want to do some landscaping and change the sign at the entrance to Summit Chase. That is actually located, the little median landscape aisle in the middle is actually in the right-of-way of the dedicated roads. And despite our searching, we've not been able to find a recorded easement for that property.
it's my shocked face.
Yeah. However, it is clear that at the time of dedication, that existed, as noted from the sign. Clearly, that sign has been there since 1972, I think it is. And it's clear that it was intended to be an easement. So what we have drafted is an acknowledgement of the easement, and that sets out that it was recognized that there would be an easement there, and the location is on the second page. The legal description that shows it being at the intersection of Highway 78 and Summit Chase Drive Southwest, and then traveling 450 southeast, bisecting Summit Chase Drive to the place where it narrows, where basically that median ends. And then we've included an exhibit in particular that shows it circled as well. And basically what we conditioned it upon is that they will be allowed to maintain the landscaping in compliance with codes, and also the sign that they want to tear down will have to be built up to current city zoning ordinances as well. So that's what we're doing. So if everyone is good with that, then we can get that executed.
Anybody
So
have any?
the dimension of 450 feet, the median was extended when the daycare went in 12 years ago. So we're actually adding to what would have historically been there, I would assume. That, I just want to make sure that 450 feet includes that.
That's what the 450,
Yeah.
the approximate 450 feet, it should be that.
Okay,
So,
so the entirety of it, which,
that's what you wanted, right? That's what everyone wanted? Okay. Jason, does that sound like that works, everybody?
Yeah, we just have to determine setbacks on this, but, I mean, it allows them to do that. but it's-
Okay. All right.
setbacks, setbacks.
yeah, I know, it's,
Okay, so that's it for the regular meeting,
Do you
so,
have the restrictive
I
covenant?
mean, they've been indicating.
Should be. Thought it was.
Oh, did I miss
It's
something?
D on, it's
Oh.
D on discussion items.
It's under, she's just doing the regular meeting, he's talking about the
That's
discussion.
Oh, it's not on
Right.
there, yeah, it's not on there.
Yeah.
no, was it supposed to be?
No, it's fine.
No, it was
Okay, any correspondence?
There is one piece, but it's for executive session.
Okay. Any attorney's report?
We've seen a short executive session.
Okay. Update on ongoing projects?
Basically, things are going along pretty well. On the town center, we need to continue to push the county on the IGA,
yeah.
because it's in their lawyers' hands right now. And Angela Parham, the Director of Support Services, said if she can just get, an outline, she'd like to finish it up. I mean, she would like to do she has experience in that, so I hope they're working together.
She is copied on, all, I went back and looked after Eric's last email, and the county attorney's copying her on all the emails,
Good,
so.
good. Yeah,
Everyone should be in the loop.
good, that's great. That's just, they are very process oriented, so. Coordination on the deck, had a great meeting today with CPL. They're meeting with the designers tomorrow from Midcast. Good coordination there. Things look good. Streetscape, Michael Kidd's working with Smallwood on that, trying to incorporate, some of the ideas you heard 2 weeks ago. The market, I handed out in the small group, this is a proposal, a draft proposal from, I think you probably got, let's pass these out. A draft proposal we received from Midcast and have gone over several edits with them. And basically, it's a construction management agreement for the market, from soup to nuts, from design to leasing to construction. We basically, when we first met with them, we said, show us what you got. And you saw who they brought to the table with Jamal Wilson in the hall on Franklin. They have been very forthright. We have negotiated the fee down from 5% to 4%. And I've given this to Tony and Chuck for legal review. So we'll have more discussion on this as time goes on. But I've been impressed with what they've done. And I think you have with you.
Do I?
Take that one.
Somewhere?
But that's one piece of it. We also received an item, and I think Tony and Chuck received this too, which are the business term summary for what's called the master declaration. And the master dec will determine who maintains and how things are run in the town center. We'll be working with Midcast on the overall operation of the open spaces. And this is the start of describing legally who's responsible for what. So I wanted to give you that. This is something also that Tony and Chuck is reviewing, and we will go we'll go further down the road with digging into the master declaration when we get the entire document. But I wanted you to see that. So I think that demonstrates that there's good coordination, good progress, and I hope that continues. An important date, March 10th, really has been the date set for an update meeting with all parties. That's county, that's TSW, that's Midcast, that's city, that's everybody.
That's March 10th.
There'll be a series of meetings, and I'll get that information out to
Is that,
everybody.
is that something we should plan to attend? Is that what you're saying?
That's gonna be like the last one.
Various different ones. We'll
Okay.
just if you can kind of keep your calendar free on that day. We'll work on that.
The
Take a day
email
off.
we got, which says they're trying to start the meetings at 9:30.
Take the whole week off.
Okay.
We'll. I suggested they start at 9, because we might need a little bit more time for one or two of them.
And-
Quick question on the development and leasing agreement, as far as architectural design and what it's gonna look like. I know the zoning is done and gone, but what input do we have?
On the market,
Yeah,
we would approve the design. We'd be a partner.
okay,
Approve the architect and be involved in the design. We wouldn't be giving up any of that.
okay. Just wanna make sure.
Absolutely. That's not going to change.
All right.
Let's see, I think you've got several documents there. You have our audit from last year, which is good results. And you also have 2 draft job descriptions for the assistant city manager's job and the downtown development director. So look those over. Those are, as I said, drafts, and we'll need some more work, but you kind of threw in the kitchen sink and a lot of that. So something for you to look over. We talked about that at the retreat.
So you're gonna get somebody who cleans the kitchen sink, is that what you're talking about?
The other duties as assigned. They'll have to have the right
That's the city
attitude.
manager's job, isn't it?
You know, I was picking up trash on Saturday morning for 3 hours. Just so you know. The census planning, I think Brian and Solange you've done a lot of coordination and background research, and you're ready for a report tonight.
Yes.
The UDO, Caleb has been out on a little bit of a vacation, I think. We vacation.
It's tax season.
Vacation.
But he has incorporated a lot of the comments.
Vacation in February, I mean.
There are a couple of things that Jason and I need to speak with him about, but we're close to setting up a public meeting, I think. Final public meeting. Snellville Days discussion. Basically, you know, we're moving ahead this year, and overall discussions to take place very shortly after this version is complete. Snellville Youth Commission plan, we still need to work with Chris and the commission on getting their input. Commercial property code enforcement and annexation, you know, you guys are, the floor is open for any issues that you see out there. We talked about delaying annexation for a year after the SDS adoption, and hopefully that happens this week. So we can start identifying properties there. City special event coordination, I don't see Kelly here. The way I put it, stat and plat, we had a meeting of the minds and came to an agreed upon schedule and which events would take place where. And as I put on there, it's an annual need. I think it wouldn't be bad to have an annual meeting to make sure we're all on the same page there. And ordinance development, I guess the key point there is I call it legislative interference. You know, they're working on short-term rentals, they're working on design standards, and now they're trying to end the gross receipts method of occupation tax collection, which is ours. So we just have to keep an eye on all that.
Who is they? Is that the state legislature?
Yeah.
State legislature.
What do they want it to be based on?
Well, the other 2 methods are number of employees and profitability. You know, when it comes to profitability, it's, the formula's all over the board.
Yeah,
Um,
there
I-
is no formula.
I
Yeah,
can't,
I can adjust my profitability.
and make it look bad, can't
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, I certainly
you?
can.
They are.
I know how to do that.
Legally.
One good thing they are doing, and
Theoretically.
Chuck probably doesn't want to hear this, but the flat fee for professionals, the $400, they're looking at doing away with that. And going to some form.
won't.
That-
They
It's just very, it's frustrating sometimes when you see what comes out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we'll monitor it. That's all I want.
There's enough attorneys in the legislature that the flat fee won't go away.
That's what I thought when I saw that.
Okay, any questions on the projects?
Oh,
Well, we did visit Hickey Tree Service for that first, commercial eyesore.
What was the result of that?
We brought the building inspector out there, and there's he got a write-up, and he kind of see which way he wants to go at. But the building was uninhabitable. The fridge, I believe, was actually like leaning this way because the walls were, anyways, it was bad.
Yeah, you could tell that from the outside,
So
just driving by.
we got it in the
But it's the last historic building in Snellville.
and it'll fall down by itself if the refrigerator's taken out.
chain too, and he's been good to everybody.
We have to preserve our history.
Gotta fix it. It's bad.
One item kind of carrying forward, we need to set a meeting with Charlotte once SDS is done about library. So I would prefer to leave that up to you because you need to be in on that meeting, and I don't want to set something without, so just, if we ever get SDS done.
It will get done.
Yes, ma'am, I believe it.
It
That'll
will
be a
get done.
2024 project.
That's what Charlotte and I were laughing, that if it could have just been the two of us, we would have been done a long time ago. But it's not.
But y'all enjoy each other's company, so it's okay.
It's, I mean, she's a tough negotiator, but I've got a lot of respect for her. I think she serves our county very well. Discussion of the proclamation policy, and I have to apologize because I'm not prepared for this. Can you talk about it?
Everybody's good. Well, I mean, we have, we don't have really a policy for when we do a proclamation. And if you don't have a policy and everybody gets a proclamation, it kind of cheapens the importance of it. So Brian kind of looked around and came up with a template that, and I understand you not being ready for it, but it's in your packet. Take a look at it. You know, Dave asked me early on, he said, do we really need this? Well, it's a streamlining of the whole method. So please take a look and we'll keep it on the agenda for next time.
Wait, there was a method?
There is a method to all madness.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and this isn't like a rule of, you know, it's not a law or an ordinance, it's just a policy to
Proclamation about
follow
proclamation.
yeah.
It's an
It's
insult.
guidelines.
guidelines to help us kind of navigate and be able to say yes or no, or.
And keep it between the ditches a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah.
And not dump everything on Melissa at the last minute. Melissa,
Yeah.
can you type this up?
Okay, so we have that to take a look at, need to follow up on that one. So we'll just put this on the work session agenda for next meeting, too, we can discuss. The SGS Tactical Urbanism Project application. Eric said if you have your iPad, there is a presentation that he sent
I'll
out.
send to your city email addresses, otherwise they'll have a smaller picture of it up here. We didn't put the projector up, but Mayor and council members, Ms. Valdez and her class have agreed to help us to continue to promote the coming of the Grove in the town center in some more unique ways that provide us some opportunity with Brian's efforts to continue excitement and energy moving in this period when nobody else sees anything happening, and with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Valdez and the class.
Okay, well, we are just so thrilled to be here and be able to work with you guys on this wonderful opportunity. The students have been really busy planning this project, and it's been exciting for me to see them come up with these ideas, and so I'm gonna let them present their ideas. And we have Imani Spence, and Barack Selman, and Keenan Palmer, who are going to give you guys a presentation about what they planned.
Okay. They are going to be passing out some pictures of the project of the draft that we have. While I present it.
There you go, gotcha.
If you would step right up there next to me.
There.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, hello. All right.
You can be the easel.
All right.
Step forward, because they'll, there you go.
Yep.
Keep coming. There you go.
Slide up.
That's better.
It's
Hello.
upside down.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today?
Thank you.
All right, that's good. That's great. I'm glad. All right, I'm Imani. Nice to meet everybody. So this is things blooming in Snellville, and for the tactile urbanism project that South Gwinnett High School will be doing. So yes. So what is it? So tactile urbanism project that we are doing. It's this project that will be a public art display on the sidewalk going from the back door of City Hall to the promenade.
You got it.
Yeah, that's right. To Clower Street at the Grove. Yo-Yo will have things such as flowers, plants, and music notes to promote the lively and festive nature of the Grove itself. Alright, so the conceptual process and like how, kind of showing you guys how we kind of went about figuring out what we're going to do. So we have 5 steps. So the brainstorming, the simplifying everything down after we got all of our initial ideas down. And then after that, we sketched it out and planned it out, kind of figuring out what we wanted it to kind of look like. Then we finalized everything down into a concise process. And then we have the future and what we might want to do with the project in the future going forward. So brainstorming. So, all right, so brainstorming. So you have a bunch of pictures going on here. These are just kind of thoughts and different things that we came up with as far as ideas and concepts that we're kind of just putting out on the table. We all sat around, made a whole long list of just ideas and things, just trying to figure out what we want to do with certain ideas.
So the elephant intrigues me. What was the thought on the elephant?
We were thinking about doing something with animals. We thought about animals. We thought about paintbrushes. We thought about art, but we wanted to find something that represented like the Grove and like that kind of lively nature of things.
Why not cats?
So. Alright, so step 2, simplifying things
Yeah,
down.
from Eric.
Then we went ahead and we brought things kind of in a little bit more, and we tried to focus down on certain things. So we wanted to have more of the playful nature. So, because it's like we saw the amphitheater and we saw like different things, and as Eric told us, like the reading section, just kind of places where people can hang out and have a good time. So we wanted to kind of show that in a way. So we simplified ideas. So we ended up with childhood toys. So we thought about things like tic-tac-toe and tops, and we ended up with the yo-yo, just because it would be simpler in the time frame that we have currently. And then we also wanted the Grove, because it's the Grove. So we thought about like the trees and the flowers and the plants and all that types of stuff. Yeah, and that's what we kind of ended up with as far as that. And then sketching and planning. If you guys have it, you guys can probably see it better. And we have some of the different things and steps in the process that we went about doing. So we have the original sketch that we had, and we have the yo-yo was a flower, and it was like a bunch of different vines and music notes and stuff like that. But then we brought it back in, and we have we were planning out the colors on the one on the far right. And yeah, and in the middle when we kind of finalized it fully and then kind of figured out the colors. So that's basically what's going on. We kind of went through some thumbnails to try to figure out what we wanted and what kind of looked the best and what worked as far as the area. And then the next portion is the final product, and which you're kind of basically seeing in front of you now in the picture. So we have the yo-yo with the Grove logo on it. and going from the city hall all the way down to the promenade at the Grove. And yes. And then next, we thought about the future. We sat down to talk with Eric after we went through everything. After he kind of saw our idea and everything, he suggested like, hey, maybe we could think about having it grow over time, or like changing with the season. So like in winter, maybe there'd be like holly or like some like ornaments on the leaves, and that would be kind of cool. Just kind of seeing it grow over time and kind of bloom and different things with the seasons. So it'd be kind of fun, interesting to think about. And then concluding thoughts. So now you guys have heard everything and been absolutely amazing, and thank you for, I appreciate that I have you guys' attention. You guys are great. That is our proposal for the tactile urbanism project for things blooming in Snellville.
Awesome. Great presentation.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts, comments, concerns?
Now, this is gonna be over here?
Yes.
Okay.
But we just couldn't put it so
Sure,
small.
I
Yes.
just want to verify.
Yes.
Trust but verify.
Yes. Any more questions, comments? you can-
So what kind of paint would be used? And is it something that would be real durable over time? So, after
Won't
people
fade.
have walked on it a lot, it's not gonna.
The students actually, they did research
Uh-huh.
on this, and they researched the products that would be the best for a durable application, and they came up with a paint that is made for flooring and concrete,
Okay.
and priced that out and did all of the research themselves. So it was really great for them to get to do that as well.
Did I see your budget right? $365?
Yes.
Okay.
And the DDA or DAS will be covering that cost.
Yeah.
And so which sidewalk is this?
That's the sidewalk that goes up beside the police department up Jerry Overholtzer Way.
Yeah.
Bite your tongue.
And the flyers would be up right
That's why you had
before
trouble
town.
saying it.
And one of the questions that we either need you to answer or consider and answer quickly is, where is the yo-yo? Is it right in front of the back door City Hall, or is it in the other side and beginning in the parking lot? So that's one thing they would need to know, exactly where the yo-yo begins, and then they can take it from there.
And then would we be doing this now, knowing, or we would work with Michael Kidd to put this down once?
No, we're doing this in anticipation of it coming. So right now, I think they're working with the date of putting it down on March 14, 15 over the weekend. We've got a lot of traffic here, so Brian and I can use it as an opportunity to just keep the energy going. And with the way they're talking about it growing through the spring and all that, we can continue just to promote as people come by and say, hey, see what's growing. The other thing Brian came up with, that I think is a great idea, or do I have to give credit to one of your kids, Brian? I don't remember.
Oh, my daughter came up with this idea.
We would like to find some quality yo-yos to actually have available.
Well, I thought
When we
about
do
that,
this?
when you were talking about a yo-yo, that's something we could easily get printed and
Get it with the logo on it. and
have
then
a
maybe we-
giveaway.
I know a couple of yo-yos.
Yeah.
Volunteer.
Yeah,
It is
few of them
overhaulable.
we have names, but.
Now, is this
I didn't say
something
that.
we should have Michael Kidd look at?
They've
This is a
incorporated all of his
temporary.
ideas, and
Yes,
I
not
have.
I'm sorry?
They've incorporated all his ideas in this, and I have shared it with him.
Okay,
He
good,
is aware that this
Good.
is happening.
okay.
Well, that is totally awesome. I'm very
Yeah.
impressed.
All right.
I'm
glad.
so pleased to see young folks involved in
Yeah.
the Grove. That's great.
Well, thank you for inviting us over here. I'm glad. I'm glad.
So we're gonna go for the close. Y'all are
Yeah.
giving your approval and nod for them to paint what you see?
Yes, and I Yes. can personally say I've seen some of Amani's work, and she's a student in one of my classes, first period. And she is incredibly talented. As you can
So she
tell.
draws on her papers? So
No,
well,
on the cards. On the
Are
cards,
those
it's a little higher level than that, yeah.
She's a second-year AP student.
Good.
That's awesome.
Thanks for getting involved.
Yeah,
It's great.
I'm happy to be here.
You
so
are the
thank
first.
you.
All right.
first tactical urbanist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Good to know.
Yeah.
Putting our mark, that's good.
That's right, that's right.
Hopefully the first of a couple more to come.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. Fun.
Well, let's start on your second proposal.
Hey.
Let's get this done first.
Yeah,
Yes, we gotta take our
baby
time.
steps, baby steps. Very good. All right,
Good job.
thank you so much. Thank you for the
April month.
Good presentation, very
I might mention, just FYI, but you'll probably be done with it by this point. We have a farmer's market, an off-season farmer's market on the first Saturday of each month. So the first Saturday in April would be the next one after what you're, planning to paint. So you may be finished by then, but I just wanted you to know that,
Yeah, it's a one-weekend deal.
yeah,
Unless it rains.
we're still out
we've
there
never
in the
rained here.
rain.
Yeah, rain. Why would you
We'll
think
be
it's
in
gonna
dry
rain?
season by then.
Okay, item D, we have discussion about a restrictive covenant for 1632 Fars Road property.
And this is a property that is currently owned by the city. Evidently, the city has had to buy it twice, is my understanding, because it continues to flood. There's been interest by the next door neighbor to purchase it, although we can't sell it directly to him. It'll have to be a sealed bid or an open auction of some type.
That is your
But
crawl space.
before we sell it again, we want to attach a restrictive covenant that explicitly states that you cannot build any permanent structures of any kind on the property. You can, if you wanted to put a basketball court or something like that, you could do that with an understanding that it may get destroyed. And we retain, Tony added on there today, that we retain the ability to put stormwater onto it if we need to, so.
Queen
But-
Elizabeth II is mentioned in this,
Second page,
page 2.
binding upon.
What is that about?
What?
Oh, it's called the rule against perpetuities, and you can really use any person that's alive that would be recognized widely. Unfortunately, the other usually alternative is to put a president or a political figure, but that usually causes some issues, so it's easier. Everyone puts the Queen of England in the rule against perpetuities.
Barbara Bender.
Because everybody knows about them. If people around the world knew Barbara Bender, which they probably do, then we could put Barbara Bender. But
Barbara Bender.
that's why they do that is.
So,
That's
can't
crazy.
you tell
Somehow, I don't know, I
Elvis is
just
dead?
feel like somebody's
Maybe.
hoping that I'm gonna, no.
Is that on the bar exam?
You got
It's absolutely on every bar exam.
That's
Oh, my-
fascinating.
First year law school.
We'll have to
rule
put that in our
against
proclamation
perpetuities.
policy.
Yeah, really.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I actually deal with that too, on like some trusts and estate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
I'll
new
bet.
every day.
That's it.
We have a
So
rule
we want to
against
attach,
perpetuity.
we want to attach
Somebody
that
not get one?
to the property.
Yeah, we were sharing
Oh,
that
we've
down
got
here.
plenty.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I
that
had
we're
to,
okay.
Yeah, we're okay with Queen Elizabeth.
Have we cleared this with the
The
Queen?
second.
Yeah, do we have to pay her like a royalty?
No,
Well, she's
you
already
can't use the
royalty, you
word
don't have to pay it.
All right.
You can't
You're
use the
welcome.
brand.
Does this require a vote or action, or just,
It probably would be good to have everyone approve for you to execute it.
Dispensation.
So we can go ahead and advertise the property.
Right, we'll need to, that'll be the next step is to auction the property. But this needs to be done first, so that it's clear in the advertisement that the property, is subject to the restrictive covenant.
So are we amending our agenda to put it on there tonight?
but that's what I was wondering, should we amend the agenda or it can wait till the next meeting?
It can wait till the next meeting, but if it waits till the next meeting, that's another 2 weeks before we can get it
So,
auctioned. So,
Does anybody need more time to read over the restrictive covenant?
No, but I think we would have to call the Queen just to make sure.
We'll go ahead and
She
get
can't
on
even
the
keep her
line now.
family together.
Yeah. Let's say, be careful before you start slinging mud down there, young man.
So when we get to the approval of the agenda, if someone would wish to add this, then just add that to your motion.
And where would we
We would
amend
add
that?
it under
Can
new
we
business.
just put it under
Christie's gonna do it, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Consent agenda?
Consideration and action
Can we
on.
just add it to the
A
consent?
What is the
restrictive,
restrictive
Can we
covenant?
do that?
covenant
Just add to the consent
for
agenda.
1632 Fars Road.
I mean-
Restrictive covenant for 1632 Fars Road.
Yeah.
Do we need a parcel number?
No, just
I can
say
pull it
yeah.
for you if you want.
The parcels
It's
are,
right here.
it's on it.
It's R5072
You see it?
091.
There you
It's
go.
in that first paragraph.
Yeah, I see it.
First one.
Now I really see it.
Okay. The next we have discussion about speed zone amendment in the town center.
Chief and I talked about that earlier today. So my understanding was there were twofold issues. That this, in particular, dealing with wisteria, but in the town center as well, wanting to take the speed limit down and limit large trucks from being able to travel in there. Probably the easiest way to handle the speed is going to be done through our triennial, I guess, in which every 3 years we do our radar certification, and we update our ordinance with a list of all the speed limits. We also, because Wisteria, at least at this point, is a county road, we need to get signed off. Even though we can control the speeds, we still need to get signed off by the county to do so. So it seems to make more sense just to wait and take care of that when we do our 2021
2021 is when we do
update.
it, okay.
There'll be plenty of time for
Right.
construction.
When we have all the construction, we'll know the names of all the roads, so the other streets that we're gonna have in the town center for sure by then will be finalized, and we can add that as well. And then as far as the trucks, again, we'll need buy-off from probably from DOT, I think, because of the motor carrier laws,
Well, the county.
and the
too.
county as well.
And we probably won't limit it to below 36,000 GWBR.
So, but again, it makes more sense just to do that all at one time when we lay that all out, unless there's any push that you don't want that done earlier. Otherwise, we'll just plan on having that happen on our next update.
All right. We only have 10 minutes. Do we have enough time for the exec session or?
Yeah, as far as
Yeah, I
I'm
think
concerned.
we can knock it out quick.
Okay.